Hey guys, it's Wendy, Crooked House Herbals. It's Thursday night and it's storming. So if I lose you, it'll probably be because the lightning has made things go out. We're going to try to get through this hour without losing any power or anything weird happening. But if you hear lots of booming, it's because I'm having a big thunderstorm right now. It's okay. It's all good. All right. Well, welcome to week 6 of Herbal Wisdom 101. And tonight we're going to talk about some fun stuff. We're going to talk about some of the plants that you might see coming up, or if you are still getting snow and cold weather, you should see them before too long. And I love how nature works. Springtime comes and, you know, we've come out of a winter hibernating season where maybe we eat differently and our systems get a little sluggish, and it's time for spring tonics. And so out pops up all of our little spring tonic herbs all over the yard. Most people get their weed eater out and whack them down without knowing how valuable they are. So unfortunately, I can't show you these things because I'm using my cell phone to do my live, but I figured it was safer because I don't know if I'm going to lose my power and I might lose my internet connection the other way, so we're just going with it, all right? So anyway, I will give you the names of a few of these, and you can do your own research and look them up online or whatever and identify them and see what you can do with them. So I say let's start with the other topic that I really wanted to talk to you about tonight is our liver and care for our liver. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the spring tonic herbs and, you know, some of the other things that are starting to pop up and happen in our springtime season. I know it's not officially spring yet, but we'll just get a jump on it. So, liver, the topic of liver and liver health is very important to me because I lost my sister to liver failure, and it was such a heartbreak, and it was such a hard thing to watch. I still can't get it out of my mind, the transformation and what happened to her body as her liver shut down and failed. And I have to tell you, having had cancer, having had a husband who had cancer for 10.5 years, and watching that process happen, I'm telling you, liver failure trumps them all. It's got to be one of the hardest, most awful things to experience. So I feel like I want to talk to you about it tonight so that maybe if you're, if you know somebody who's got some of these symptoms, or if you've got some of them yourself, or if you just want to make sure you don't, prevention is the best way to go, then let's talk about it. Some simple things that you can do to keep your liver healthy, aside from the obvious, right? Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you about and remind you that we've talked about is the ultimate diet, which is the mucusless diet, which avoids red meat and, in fact, most meat, maybe the occasional piece of chicken or some fish every now and then, but mostly it's fruits, nuts, grains, vegetables, and seeds. And the reason for that is becoming more and more obvious as we talk about different things. The mucus forming foods contribute to so many negative things in your body. So I'm not saying, I am by no means on a bandwagon that's going to tell you don't eat this and don't eat that and da-da-da. I'm giving you information that maybe at some point you might want to remember. Maybe you're at a place with your own health, or you're at an impasse where you think, maybe I just need to change things up. You know, maybe I need to do something else for my poor earth suit. You know, it's struggling with my present condition and lifestyle. Maybe I need to change things up. So I'm putting this stuff in the back of your mind so that if you need them at some point, you can retrieve it. All right. So one of the most common issues, and I did a little bit of research on this, and actually, this is pretty amazing. 40% of Americans, which is 4 out of 10, okay, have a condition that's called fatty liver, which is completely and totally unnecessary. You don't need to have a fatty liver. And the fatty liver condition contributes to several other liver conditions and can lead you to, you can die from a fatty liver if you don't take care of it. Now, don't freak out, but just remember this. There is a simple way to completely eliminate a fatty liver. Eliminate high fructose corn syrup, or fructose, period. So this means you have to do your homework. It's not just the obvious stuff on the label like ketchup, that is, I think that's the first ingredient in ketchup. But you have to dig a little deeper with some of the other things that you eat. And you also have to know which types of foods actually convert to fructose, because that happens as well. But if you eliminate that and you eliminate simple sugars. So what are simple sugars? We've talked about this before, and it goes right along with the diet that we talked about before, which is eliminating the processed foods. And that's where your simple sugars come from mostly. Soda, baked goods, packaged cookies, fruit juice concentrate. You know how, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, my mom always made orange juice and apple juice from the frozen concentrates. It was cool, you take off the one end of the can and you go whoosh, and you squeeze it out and it blobs into the pitcher, and then you fill it full of water and you reconstitute it, and there it is. It's orange juice or apple juice. Well, those kinds of things are full of fructose. Okay, so you want to avoid those. Breakfast cereals. Let's see, what else could we talk about? Well, any kind of processed packaged food. If it comes out of a box, more than likely you're going to have fructose, and it will be a simple sugar. Okay, simple sugars. Brown sugar is a simple sugar. Fruit concentrates, corn syrup, of course. Raw sugar is a simple sugar. So the only one that I haven't listed on there, if you'll notice, is honey. And honey is the one that has a synergistic effect in your body. It has a different effect. I'm not saying you can go and eat, gallons of honey, because you might have some reaction to that. But it is not, it's not like other sugars. Honey isn't, especially if you can get raw honey, and especially if you can get local honey. Your body will benefit more. There's more positives than negatives with honey. So those of you that don't like honey, there's also another alternative, and I prefer, a lot of times, I grow my own stevia, and I use stevia. Stevia is a naturally very sweet plant, and it's very easy to grow. It doesn't like winter, so you have to either bring it in or start over every spring. But you can grow quite a bit of it throughout the year and then dry it and grind it up, and you've got your own version of, powdered sweetener without adding anything to it. It's just the sweetened plant. So that is another option. A healthy liver contains about 5% fat, which is about all it needs to function properly. Okay? This ensures that you feel your best. The antioxidants and the things that you take in are what help keep your liver at that healthy fat rate. So if you eliminate the simple sugars and you eliminate the complex carbs, then you will, that part of the hardship on your liver is gone. So then you can start, okay, and that's the other thing. You've got simple sugars in things like milk. Even nut milk has a simple sugar in it. So you need to choose wisely, and you know, like the Bible always says, all things in moderation. But get rid of the processed food out of your house. If you do that all by itself, I know it means you have to work a little harder because you have to make stuff from scratch, or, you know, eat differently. But the benefits for your body are amazing, and you're going to feel better if you do it. So, back to the fat. So you've got this fat in your body, and, you know, how it ends up coagulating in your liver is probably fairly logical. You know, your liver is your filtering organ. Everything goes through your liver. Everything. So, that being said, you've got to keep track, and you've got to be careful about all the stuff and how often and how fast you're putting it through your liver. A lot of times when people get a hold of me and they want me to help them through a liver cleanse or a detoxing time or something like that, one of the first things I tell them is revert to a mono diet for these days that you're cleansing. One thing at a time. You know, if it's summertime and you want watermelon, then you eat watermelon for lunch. That's all. Don't eat anything else. And then wait an hour or two and eat one other thing. That way your liver has time to process just one thing at a time, and it's not just cranking it out and working and working and working. The other thing is, stop eating at around 6 o'clock at night, so your liver has a chance to catch up and process everything you have put in it. Okay, and they're running through it, because before you know it, a few hours go by and then you're going to be eating again and putting more stuff through it. So I have a recipe. If you want to write this down, it's really simple, and it would be a really good thing for you to do for a liver cleanse. Okay, it'll take about 7 days for it to process in your fridge, but then you would take a tablespoon of it in the morning and a tablespoon of it at night for 3 to 5 days, and you have done a pretty decent, good liver cleanse. If you're avoiding alcohol and you're avoiding red meat and you're avoiding all the other things that are hard on your liver, you've eliminated the processed food and the simple sugars and stuff out of your diet. This would be a good thing to do to get your liver cleaned out and jumpstart it for spring. It's real simple. You're going to need 2 lemons, and you're going to need 2 whole bulbs of garlic. Now remember, we've talked about garlic before. Garlic is the wonder food, okay? It's an antibiotic, it's an anti-mutagen, it's an antibacterial. It is superfood, okay? So you want 2 bulbs, the whole bulb of garlic, 2 nice lemons that you've washed. And if you aren't getting organic stuff, or even if you are, you know, just get a little warm water, put a teaspoon or so of some baking soda in the water, and then wash your fruit in there, and then rinse it off good, just to get off anything that may have been sprayed on it, or, you know, come in contact with it. And then some good raw honey, okay? And you're just going to chop up your lemon, peel and all. Don't take the peel off. Leave the peel on. And because that's where a lot of your benefits come from, is the peels of citrus, not the inside, but the peel. So you want to chop up your lemon, chop up all those cloves of garlic, because the garlic, it isn't effective hardly at all until you bruise it, till you smash it or chop it up and release the allicin out of the clove of garlic. So chop up your garlic, chop up your lemon, put it into a jar that's got a lid that you can tighten on, okay? And then, and it's gonna fill up, I'm gonna say, probably a pint jar, somewhere in there, okay? And then take your honey and pour your honey in there until you've got a pretty good consistency, maybe 3/4 of a cup, maybe a cup, I don't know, just, and then mix it all up in there till it's all good and mixed. So all three of those ingredients are all mixed up together. Put the lid on it, stick it in the fridge for 7 days, and then after that, it's ready for you to start taking it. Take it twice a day. Tablespoon in the morning, and then maybe before you go to bed, to help with the overnight functioning of your liver. Let me know how you like it. It's pretty good. It's a tasty little treatment. Some other things that I wanted to talk to you about that kind of go along with the herbs that are coming up right now are some of the herbs that are good cleansers. They're anti-inflammatories. They benefit your liver greatly. One of them is dandelion. Dandelions are starting to come up in my yard, and you want, at this time of year, what you're going to get is the bitter herbs, okay? Because the bitter herbs are the tonic herbs. They're the ones that cleanse your blood and cleanse your liver and do all that heavy lifting after winter, okay? So dandelion, all parts of the dandelion are good. I like to use the flowers in salad. The leaves are good for a tea. The root is probably the most powerful. So if you have a lot of dandelions, then I would say pull them up and, you know, a few of them up and use the root, use the whole plant. If you don't have a lot of them, then maybe, you know, maybe just pull up one or two and clip some leaves or whatever off some of the others, so that you don't want to ever eradicate them. Dandelions are good. Don't kill them, okay? So if you take your dandelions, they have a real good cleansing effect on your liver, and it's old medicine, okay? And it's found in most, if you look at the back of bottles of most liver formulas, you're going to see one of the first ingredients is either milk thistle or dandelion, because both of those are so powerful and good for your liver. It was traditionally used to treat hepatitis, jaundice, gallbladder infections. It would even help with dissolving gallstones. It's very helpful with people with a sluggish liver. So that one needs to be tops on your list. You can drink dandelion tea. Some of the symptoms of a sluggish liver would be frequent headaches, bad breath, fatigue, indigestion, and like abdominal discomfort, bloating. A lot of times people, irritability, you know, I tell people all the time, depression is a first sign of liver dysfunction. They are directly connected. So if you are not normally a depressed person, if you are not a melancholy person, if your personality is not like that, and all of a sudden you feel yourself just feeling off, you know, you're just bummed and feel depressed, it's probably time for you to cleanse your liver, and your liver is probably telling you. It also is a contributing factor to excess weight and skin problems. You know, all that stuff stems from a jacked up liver. So it's time for you to pay attention to your liver, especially the older you get. Dandelion also is a mild laxative. So, you know, it helps with clearing out your bowels as well. You might as well get all that stuff cleaned out while you're at it. I put dandelion root in my Smooth Move capsules. Another really good herb, and I've got it coming up all around in my yard already, is burdock. I love burdock. It's got to be one of my top 3. Burdock is a blood cleanser, and it will help eliminate toxins. So, along with plantain, which is also coming up in yards right now. I talked to you about plantain before and how to identify it with its longer leaves, and all of the veins go straight. There's no crosswise veins. They're deep, straight veins across the leaves. There's a narrow leaf plantain and there's a broadleaf plantain, but the veins in the plantain will tell you, will help you identify it. Some interesting things. There's a few studies that have been done with burdock in relation to your liver. And one study found that burdock protects the liver from damage by environmental toxins, which we're all exposed to. We can't even avoid it. We've got toxins everywhere. Even if you drink nothing but distilled water, you still bathe in some kind of water, right? And you're going to absorb 80% of that through your skin. So you still have to pay attention to your liver and clean it and strengthen it. In the study, rats with liver injury consumed 900 milligrams once daily or 303 times a day of burdock, and the toxins were removed from their livers. I mean, they were healthy. It showed that they had decreased levels of liver enzymes, particularly the AST and the ALT. These enzymes are markers of liver damage. So if you've had a liver panel done recently and those numbers are high, burdock will help you get those in check. Another study showed that burdock increases the amount of glutathione, which is an antioxidant that helps protect the liver from chemicals that are produced, like when you take prescription meds, okay, and that kind of stuff. Well, that all stuff goes through your liver, and so that glutathione helps you get rid of those particulates in your liver, and burdock helps produce that in your liver. That's the thing people don't realize is, if your liver's busy processing all these other meds that you're taking, it's not able to do its real job, which is break down, process the foods that you're eating, move out the toxins, and then things kind of sometimes will get backed up. Then your kidneys are affected, and you can end up pretty sick pretty fast. So, like I said, my sister died of liver failure, and that's not anything you ever want to have to experience ever. Burdock root reduces the levels of triglycerides and cholesterol while increasing your HDL, which is your good cholesterol. All that from a burdock root. So we are fortunate up here in the Ozarks in northern Arkansas. This stuff grows everywhere, and it's wonderful. And you can use the entire plant. You can use the leaves, you can use the flowers, you can use the roots. I like to use the root because I feel like that's where most of the strength and the effectiveness comes from. But I have used the leaves and stuff before too. Another herb that is really good is turmeric. And people go, turmeric? I never thought of turmeric with my liver. Well, we've talked about turmeric in the past few weeks quite often, and one of its big claims to fame is the fact that it's an anti-inflammatory. But it also naturally lowers the cholesterol in your body. So, studies suggest that turmeric will help to naturally lower cholesterol in the body and can help you prevent the buildup of plaque in your arteries. It's also a natural blood thinner. which helps prevent blood clots and supports healthy blood pressure. So I would say turmeric is probably up there in the superfoods too. By the way, I think I mentioned this last time, but it is a beautiful plant to grow, and it's really easy to grow. Turmeric and ginger they look very similar, and they're so pretty, but they won't survive winter, a hard winter. So you have to bring them in or have a greenhouse or something. But oh my gosh, they're so pretty, and it's kind of nice to have your own, your own stuff. I would recommend, if you're going to plant your own things, plant garlic, plant turmeric, plant ginger, plant onions. They're all good medicine. They're easy. Okay, so turmeric helps prevent the liver against damage caused by free radicals, toxins, alcohol, waste products, supports healthy liver detoxification. Okay, clearing out excess cholesterol, turmeric may help to reduce fatty deposits in the liver and help to reduce liver inflammation. As a result, as turmeric will help you to reduce the use of anti-inflammatories and pain medication, you're reducing the stress on your liver. Anytime you can stop taking meds and use natural ways that your body your body's going to totally absorb and use turmeric and cayenne and some of these other herbs we're going to talk about today. There's nothing about it that your body will reject or store or cause problems. They're not going to cause problems for you later, like taking medications does. Anything that's processed and man-made is not going to work the same way in your body. It might be faster, because I don't know if you realize this, but the way they make medication is 80% of meds, well, at one point, 80% of all medications came from herbs. But what they did is they would isolate the constituents in these herbs, the things like foxglove. When they found out that the ingredient in foxglove was what stopped heart attacks, okay? Then what they started doing was they started extracting concentrates of just that one ingredient to make the medication for heart attacks. But what happens when you do that is, first of all, it's processed, so you have all of the other additives that are in there. But second of all, now it's a concentration, whereas herbs were created to have their own checks and balances. So you don't ever have a side effect because it is completely balanced. It doesn't need any other things to add to it. It has its own check and its own balance. If you use the whole herb, you don't have any danger of having a side effect. When you start extracting just a little bit of it, one component of that herb to make a stronger drug, then you're going to have side effects because you have thrown away the rest of the herb that balanced out those effects and made it safe. So yeah, herbs will oftentimes take longer, but they're safe, and you're not going to have to worry about having side effects and have to take something else for the side effects. Okay? It's a big pharma thing. They make lots of money off that. So if you can pay attention to your body and you can do right by your body on the front end, then you don't have these emergencies where you have to take drugs to quickly rectify a situation. You have been maintaining your body, and it is, it's an easy thing. It's like I say all the time, if people would take cayenne pepper every day, they would never need to take a blood thinner. They won't have strokes. They won't have, and it's just like I told you, turmeric will keep you from getting arteriosclerosis, artery goo. Okay? It keeps your arteries clean. So if you just do that, then you don't have to take drugs to get it out, because they don't really work all that great anyway. And most of them have pretty bad side effects. So 1 to 3 grams of turmeric a day is recommended, which could equate to about a half to a teaspoon. Can you fit that in somewhere? Throw it in a shake? Do something with it? That's not that much. But it will, your liver, it's a tonic for your liver, and it will, and the rest of your body. It's an anti-inflammatory to the max. Now, what have I told you about turmeric? This is why the golden milk or something like that would probably be the smartest idea. Or like I said, if you're going to put it in a shake where you can add some coconut oil, some black pepper, keep the other things that trigger and release turmeric into your body so your body absorbs it. It needs a fat. If you don't take it with a fat, it's going to go right through you. And you'll see that it goes right through you. Okay? Another really good liver herb, something that's really, really good for your liver, is milk thistle. And it's been around a long time. So, milk thistle, let me see if I can explain. It's an antioxidant and it's an anti-inflammatory, and it's just one of the best ones for overall general cleansing of your liver. And you can't really overdo milk thistle. So the trick with milk thistle is, though, it kind of looks like other thistles. So you have to, if you're foraging or if you're wildcrafting, you have to pay attention to the leaves. There are certain, simple, slight differences. You don't want to end up with the wrong thistle. I mean, it won't hurt you. It just won't do what you want it to do. So, you know what? I just realized something. I did not turn on my... Hang on one second. And I'll open up the other page. So if somebody's got messages for me, they can message me. So milk thistle is something that you can easily incorporate. And these days, you can get a good high quality milk thistle either in a tincture or a capsule. That would probably suffice. You don't have to try to find your own and, make your own tea or whatever. Just to get a good capsule or a good glycerite or a tincture and take it regularly. Along with, what I recommend is that you just set aside a couple weeks to clean your liver. And start with one thing. Start with eliminating all the processed foods and getting that stuff out of your diet. And all of the, try to zoom in and focus in on the mucusless diet. Fruits, nuts, grains, seeds, vegetables. And, back off on your heavy winter foods. Okay? And then start incorporating some of these other things, the liver cleanse stuff. Get that made. That takes a week for it to process in your fridge. So get that made up so you can take a tablespoon of that in the morning and a tablespoon of that at night, and then start either making teas with some of these herbs, or get your hands on capsules if that's what you prefer, or tea. I like tea, but most of these herbs, the winter or the spring tonic herbs, are going to be bitter. So they're not real pleasant teas a lot of times, especially since you're using roots, and roots by nature are bitter. So you may want to go with tinctures or capsules, just to make sure you take them. Because if it tastes yucky, you probably won't. But so we've got burdock, dandelion, milk thistle, turmeric. I think that'll get you started. Okay, then there's another thing with milk thistle that's kind of cool. And that is, hang on one second, I'm just going to check and make sure I don't have any messages. Because I forgot to turn on my Facebook thing. I was worried about the storm. No, we're good. Okay. Don't forget that if you need to send a message to me, it needs to be on the Crooked House Herbals Facebook page. Use that messenger. Okay. With the milk thistle, that's actually going to address the fatty liver too. Okay, so you double dip. with that one. But zinc works with milk thistle really, really well. Don't take any more than 50 milligrams of zinc, but it will maximize the work of milk thistle in cleaning out all the toxins out of your liver. It also has other benefits. Everybody knows the goodness of zinc. Personally, I have to go easy on zinc. It messes with me, but a little bit maybe added in there. Another one that would be good, another mineral that would help with that works alongside with the milk thistle is selenium. So it's a real powerful antioxidant, and it works really well with the milk thistle for detoxing and flushing. It'll help restore energy, metabolic support, help speed up your metabolism. Like I said, we're coming out of the winter slug thing. So when you start to get, some of you might still be in winter, but spring is coming at some point. And when that does, be ready and be prepared to clean your liver out, to get some spring tonic herbs in you, and get rid of those simple carbs and sugars and fructose to get rid of your fatty liver, because really it's that simple. It's not a big thing. You don't have to take drugs. You don't have to do all of these scary things that doctors want you to tell you that you need to do. You just have to eliminate the things that produce it. It's kind of like I told you before. If you want to get rid of cancer, starve it. Just don't give it any food. Stop the intake of fructose, sugars, simple carbs. Get rid of it. Your complex carbs are okay. Everything in moderation. But you have to also remember that alcohol has sugar in it as well. So, okay, now let's talk a little bit. So far, so good with the storm. I haven't lost my power yet, so we're just going to keep going. I would recommend a liver cleanse every season change, every 3 months, because our diets usually will change and our activity levels change, and it's just a good idea. Your liver deserves that. Please do that. Please keep your liver healthy. You don't want to go by the way of liver failure. But trust me, it's not what you want to happen. So it's totally doable. You can keep your liver really healthy by just doing a few simple things. Dandelion, burdock, milk thistle, turmeric. They're all good. And this herb that I'm going to talk about next is also one that's excellent for liver cleansing. It is curly dock. Okay, now remember I told you I can't show you these because I'm not using my computer, I'm using my phone. But write it down and get online and Google, let's see, the health benefits of curly dock. It's got several names, okay? It can be called yellow dock because its root is yellow, and that's how you tell the difference. There's several docks that come up in the spring, and the yellow dock has a yellowy root. Kind of looks like a carrot or a parsnip or something. But that dock is, if you catch the greens when they are about this big, it's pretty tasty in a salad, or you could cook it like spinach, put some garlic oil on it. I like to make a salad with my spring herbs, my chickweed and my curly dock and my dead nettle and the things that come up, henbit. So curly dock, though, will contribute to the liver cleansing, and it is a great spring tonic herb. You can use all of it, but again, the power is in the root. So more than likely, if you have a little curly dock, you have a lot of curly dock. So you can afford to dig some of that up and use that root. You can either use it fresh right then, or you can dry it and, chop it up in little pieces and dry it and then save it in a jar for tea or whatever you want to, do with it. But it's really, really, really good for you. And that, again, There's a reason that these particular herbs come up in the spring. They're our tonic herbs. They're the ones that help us cleanse and prepare for the new year. Get rid of all the old winter goo, okay? And it's time for spring, and it's time to clean. So curly dock, look for that one. The leaves are kind of they're narrow at the stem, and then they kind of come out a little bit. They're sort of well, they can get really long, but the edges of them will curl. And the plant itself can get really tall. The seeds are even edible when it goes to seed, and it will reseed. So, like I said, if you have some curly dock, you probably will have a lot of curly dock. But just look for it, Google it, get the pictures, and look for it. Everybody should have that everywhere. And another herb that's coming up right now in my yard, and it's so cute. And actually I have two. The chickweed's coming up, but also the dead nettle. And the dead nettle has like a square stem, okay? It's not round, it's like square. And the leaves will grow, they'll come out, they'll start at the top, and they go down like this, down the stem. And then you'll have a real pretty little purple flower on the top. And the leaves are kind of fuzzy, and they sort of have a little bit of a purple tint. They're green and purple, sort of. And it's called dead nettle because it looks very similar to stinging nettle, only it doesn't have a sting. That's why they call it dead. But actually, it's in the mint family. It's not even a nettle, really. But I'm telling you, this one is good. This one is a real good one. Bring it in, put it in your salad, put the flowers in your salad, make a tea with it. This one is very, very good for cleansing, but it's also really good for spring allergies. And if you drink 3 cups a day of dead nettle tea at the onset of spring, at the very beginning, you will notice a big difference in how those spring flowers affect you, okay? So find the dead nettle in your area and use it, because it's really, really good. I love it, and it's so pretty. And usually you have like big patches of it. You won't just find 1 or 2. They'll grow in clumps. Chickweed, like I said, is this sweet little, actually, this is a little picture of chickweed on my book. It looks like this, and it has little white flowers at some point. It's very low to the ground, and it's such a sweet little herb, and it's really good in salad. It's a total anti-inflammatory. I use chickweed in my soother, in my deep treat. It's what will take care of eczema or anything like that on your skin. By the way, dead nettle also, in a pinch, if you're on a hike or whatever and you get stung by if you get stung by stinging nettle, pull off the dead nettle, chew it up a little bit, and wipe it on there. I wish I would have known that and about that when my sister and I got into a patch of stinging nettle once when we were younger. Oh my goodness, it was rough. Had I known, I would have looked for dead nettle or plantain, and we could have taken care of that. Instead, we walked through very cold water in a creek to try to cool off our burning legs. Actually, she was worse than me, but it wasn't fun. So, a bug bite, a sting, something like that, dead nettle will address it. You could make a salve with it. So that means you could, there's things that you can do with it, but just even drinking it in a tea will really help your body fight off spring allergies. So you have dead nettle, you have chickweed, you have, what else did I say? Curly dock. And I'm trying to think if I have anything else. My burdock is starting to come up. And, oh, henbit. Okay, so henbit looks a lot, it comes up about the same time as the dead nettle. I have both coming up in my yard. And it looks different. It got a sweet little purple flower on it too, but it's different, different leaf configuration. So the leaves you'll have a little clump of leaves, and then you'll have a stem. And then you'll have another little clump of leaves, and then you'll have a stem. So it's not solid leaves all the way down like the dead nettle, and the dead nettle kind of goes down like this. And the henbit, the leaves are a little more scalloped and green. But the top of it has this sweet little purple flower on it. It almost looks like a tiny little orchid looking flower up there, or a little baby iris or something. It's purple. So henbit is also a spring tonic herb. And by the way, your chickens will love it. They love henbit. And it's good for them. So let your birds eat some too. But usually that will grow in patches as well. Let me see if I have any little pictures. Well, I can't really show you. You can make, with dead nettle, you can dye like wool yarn. There's a lot of things you can do with purple dead nettle. The allergies is the big one. Your chickens will like dead nettle too, so give them some of it. But it will grow in patches. Just don't whack it down, okay? Like I said before, and it'll come up through the snow. It'll be one of the first things you see. So it's got kind of a dark green leaf, with maybe a little dark purple right at the stem on the leaf, and then it's got this purple flower at the top. And it's a tough little guy. It'll come through when there's still snow on the ground. It'll come up. So use that one. I'll use that one to clean your system. It's good in salad. Chickweed is really good in salad. And the henbit is also very tasty. Wood sorrel is another one. It's delicious. To me, it reminds me of, it kind of looks like red clover, only it's a little bigger. The leaves are a little bigger, and it tastes like watercress. It's kind of got a tangy taste. It's really, really good. So those of you that have got, some wooded areas around, look for the wood sorrel. It'll be down close to the ground. Google it, get a good picture of it. I'm sorry I can't show you, but these are all things that we talk about in my classes. When I do workshops and classes, we go through a lot of these, or we'll just go outside and find them. But I did want to tell you about those because I think that everyone can benefit from these spring herbs, and they're free and they're here. They're happy to help. So look for the dandelions. You can use all the dandelion, including the root, but get your liver cleaned out. Go through some of these little protocols and just do yourself a favor and do it. Let yourself cleanse and start your year with a nice healthy liver. Like I said, it will jumpstart a lot of things, including your metabolism, and cleansing and removing toxins and excess waste from your body can never be bad, can it? It's always a good thing. If you're having skin issues, could be you need to clean your liver out. And I promise you, if you're suffering from any kind of depression, that's the first sign of liver dysfunction. So you need to cleanse your liver right away. If you have any, more questions or want to talk more in depth about that, you can always get a hold of me. You can email me at wendy@crookedhouseherbals.com, or you can message me on the Crooked House Herbals Facebook page. And I will be happy to help you any way I can. Okay, so before we close, I wanted to let you know, those of you that are waiting with bated breath, my homeschooling workshops are going to start up in April. The first day is April. Actually, I moved it to 2 days, Thursday and Friday of the third week of April, which is the 22nd and the wait a minute, that's June. April's is the 20th and the 21st of April. I am holding homeschooling workshops here at my ranch in Alpena. I will be videotaping them. Hopefully we'll get a good video out of it one of those 2 days, or maybe both, and we can offer it to those of you that don't live here by me and can't attend. But all the information is up on my website. It's at crookedhouseherbals.com. When you get onto the site, you click workshops and learning, and then you'll go down and you will choose Weeds and Wisdom, which is the first one. This book is the workbook for that workshop, and it will be available on Amazon. In fact, it probably already is. I just haven't looked to see what the link is. I'll make sure the link is on my website, but it's called Weeds and Wisdom, Introduction to Living with Herbs, and it's by Wendy Fargo. So you can look it up on Amazon and it should pull up. There is a discount for families with, you know, multiple kids. So there is one price up to 4 children, and then there's another price for, you know, if you've got 4 or more kids that want to be a part of it. But I went ahead and offered it for 2 days because I have a feeling that we're going to have more than we can handle for just one day. So there's a Thursday option and there's a Friday option. You will just click on the one you want and the number that you want. There's no shipping or anything, so then you would just put it in your cart and pay for it on the website, and then I will be emailing you particulars like directions and any other information that you need to have before the workshop starts. So I'm going to recommend that sooner is better than later as far as registering for those, because I can't take, you know, 100 people where I'm at right now. So first come, first serve. But I think it's going to be really fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to do some good hands-on stuff. We're going to learn how to make your own medicine. And this is the intro workshop. The next one in May will be create your own first aid kit, and we'll build on what we learn in this one. So we're going to be covering at least 10 herbs, maybe more, in this one, and then carrying over, working with the knowledge that you receive from this one into the next one in May to create your own first aid kit, which they will have take-home kits with them. And then June's will be herbal pain relievers, which builds on both of those, and they will have, you know, be creating their own pain relieving medicines. And I am an educator. I have a doctorate in education, so I tend to make things fun, and I use different types of learning modalities so that everybody, you know, not everybody learns the same way. And so we do hands-on things, we do role playing, we do all kinds of different things to help kids assimilate and actually use what they learn so they'll know. So I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to get started, and I hope that you guys, those of you that have homeschooling families, or if you know people that homeschool and you think this would be something that would be interesting and good for them, please spread the word and let them know. www.crookedhouseherbals.com. Go to workshops and learning and register. And I will see you guys next week. Make sure that if you have any questions, or if you've got, you know, concerns that come up throughout the week, feel free to get a hold of me. Either message me on the Facebook page or Wendy@crookedhouseherbals.com. Send me an email and I'll be happy to get back with you. What else? Anything else? Those of you that live in the Alpena area, if you're looking for nice, fresh, sweet, yummy goat's milk, my goats are milking now. That's been fun. And I guess that's it for now. Enjoy the weather, whatever weather you're having. We're having thunderstorms. But God bless all of you, and remember that nature heals you best. And I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.